The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There was a man in Shul, Bnei Brak, and after davening, he could not move. Suddenly paralyzed. They lifted him out, put him in an ambulance, and brought him to the hospital. And no one knew in the hospital, the doctors didn't know what happened. Couldn't identify any problem. But the guy couldn't move. They called in an expert. The expert doctor came. He says, yes, this is a very, very rare disease where a person suddenly becomes paralyzed. It takes 2 to 3 years to heal and no medication available. Just gonna have to wait it out. This guy was taken home and he's just sitting at home, lying in his bed, day and day and day, can't move. Rav Chaim heard about it. I think Rav Chaim was an acquaintance of his, and he wanted to be mevaker cholim. He wanted to visit the sick. Rav Chaim went to his house and he knocked on the door. And the guy says, "Who is it?" You don't want to just get up at nothing. He couldn't get up. Rav Chaim answers, "It's Chaim." The guy wanted to go to the door and answer it. He schlepped himself out of bed. He dragged himself across the floor to get to the door. Finally, he arrives at the door, he opens it, and there's no one there. Rav Chaim already left. He pulls himself to the porch, and he sees Rav Chaim getting into the car. And he screams, "Rav Chaim, Rav Chaim!" Rav Chaim looks up and he sees him. He says, "Rav Yitzchak, Refuah Shalema, Refuah Shalema." The man turns around from the porch and suddenly he begins to walk. Just walks. The power of a bracha from the Gadol Hador. This man goes back to the doctor. He walks into the doctor's office. The doctor looks at him, perplexed, baffled. His eyes rolled back, and he fell into a seat. He says, "Are you the same person that I just saw a couple of days ago?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "How are you walking?" "I have a few patients like this. No one's walking." "What's the secret?" He says, "I just met a tzaddik. He gave me a bracha. And I was healed." He says, who is this? He told him, it's Rav Chaim Kanievsky. He says, "Tell him I have a few other patients who need his bracha." There are many stories of Rav Chaim. And the many stories that we know, they're going to be hundreds and hundreds more. Because anytime someone in Klal Yisrael had a problem, had an issue, had a challenge, we all knew there's somewhere to go. Someone has that power to heal, to give a Yeshua, to give Hadracha, to give an Eitzah.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org